Hello everyone, Myzzrym here, bringing you today a new series called Watch That Draft. And of course, you already guessed it, it's about draft analysis. So what is draft analysis? For those who don't know, I'm going to briefly introduce the captain mode so you don't get lost on it. And then we'll start with the first game, which will be Orange against Duskbin, that I actually casted in my channel, but we're going to focus solely on the picking and the batting here. So captain mode, it's the most used mode in any tournaments. I mean, it's almost, if not all tournaments use the captain modes. What it gives to the game is actually a batting and a picking phase, and this is something that is integrant to the Dota 2 competitive scene. It's not only about the play-by-play, it's not only about this global strategy, it's not only about outplaying your enemy, it's also about drafting and out-drafting your opponents. Out-drafting is a term many people use when they see that the two teams are like not on the same levels if you consider only the heroes, and that doesn't mean that you know, they lost. It means that they have an advantage. Of course, nothing is like statistics. It's not because you have this team against that team that you're gonna win like 90% of the time. However, you still start with an advantage, and out-drafting your enemies might be the key to victory sometimes. So for those who do not know, I'll briefly talk about how it works. Two teams will actually, the first team will actually ban one hero, the second team will follow with his own ban, and so on and so forth until 3 heroes have been banned for each team. Now, when you ban a hero, it's not only banning the hero for the enemy team, but you yourself, your team, cannot pick this hero. So when you're banning one hero, that means he's out of the game for both teams. And then you have the picking phase, the first picking phase. Every team will get 3 heroes. Then the banning phase again, the second banning phase, 2 heroes will go down for each team, and then each team will pick up their last 2 heroes. So how that goes is banning, and at first, is something that, for example, you might say, I want to go for this strategy, but that hero in particular counters my strategy, so I'm going to ban him. But in the meantime, maybe the other team will say, okay, they're banning that and this hero. That probably means they're going for this particular strategy. I'm going to ban this key heroes that is needed for this particular strategy, so they cannot do it. And as you can see here, it's a lot of mind games, a lot of reflection about what should I ban, what should I pick. Do I risk taking this very strong hero but that has a very hard counter and get it countered, or I still want to go for it? So we're gonna see here a lot of what's going on, and I'm not going to talk about everything in that first episode. We're just going to watch what's going to happen and analyze what's going to happen here in this game in particular. And then I'll try to find other games where there are other techniques used. For example, wasting a ban, like banning a Lich made by Mousport. I think I forgot which game. They banned the Lich in the first banning phase, although Lich is nothing as first ban or pick material. And that is called wasting a ban, and I will explain it when I find this game in particular. So we see here that the orange side used 40 seconds before banning the Leshrac. It's their first ban. So this is quite odd. Usually the first ban you might go for it directly, and because you usually discussed a bit before, and you already have the first ban, so you might have already some ideas. You do not go with like an empty mind and say, okay, let's just go for it and let's see what's going to happen. Leshrac here is banned because he's one of these heroes who has seen a lot of plays lately, and he can basically be used in a lot of setups. He can be soloing to get early levels, to get farm, or he can be supporting to land these stuns and still be able to push down towers very quickly with the Diabolic Edict. So very, very versatile hero, and since he gained in popularity, it's normal that he sees a ban from time to time. Now we're gonna see that on the Duskbin side, they're gonna ban an Invoker straight away. They wasted perhaps like 8 seconds only before choosing the Invoker. Why do they choose the Invoker straight away? Invoker is one of those heroes who has always been in like one of the first pick ban material, because he's very strong, he's very versatile, he can do a lot of things, and he's just as a hero very annoying to play against. So it's a safe ban, as I would say. It's just someone that you very often seen ban, like like Lycan as soon as he made it into the pool. So Lycan, Nature Prophet, or Invoker we often see these heroes banned and there's nothing behind it, really. It's just, they are very powerful, we do not want to deal with it. So now, we're gonna see that Orange, once again, is going to take a lot of time before choosing what they're gonna ban. And there might be two reasons because of this. Sorry, drinking a bit here. So two reasons. One might be, I am discussing with my team what I should go. But this really happens if you find one hero that you really needed and he's banned, and this can happen. Or the second thing is, I just want to use all my time. It's like almost like wasting time. It's also playing a mind game on the opponent. You're playing a very slow, a very slow drafting phase, and the enemy might be doing a very quick drafting phase like this. You see that Orange, every time they're taking a lot of time, Duskbin are choosing very quickly. So that means that Duskbin might have a strategy in mind already. And for example, here they banned the Enchantress. Now Enchantress is not very often banned as a first banning phase. She was very popular back in the International 1 or right after, I forgot, when Chen was almost first pick ban material. And Enchantress would be one of those very powerful counter to Chen because she could just snatch Chen creeps away. And she also filled a similar role to Chen, so if the enemy picked Chen, you could answer with an Enchantress. So if we see this ban, Enchantress ban coming from the Duskbin, maybe they're looking for Chen. We're gonna see if this is the case. In the first game for Orange against Duskbin, it's what they did. They banned Enchantress and they first picked the Chen. So they're actually making sure that their Chen won't be countered by an Enchantress. Now Orange is going to take the ban again, and you see that they're taking their time. They're not pressing the matter. They're being very cool about it, and this is actually pretty okay. And they're going to choose the Lycan. So Lycan again, a very safe ban. They have the first pick, but they might not want to play him. When you're actually having the first pick, you can try to make some heroes slip through, so you know you can pick them. You know you can have these heroes without any doubt. You are the first pick. The enemy, if he does not ban this hero, you will be able to pick it. And you see a CK ban from the Duskbin side. CK is also one of those heroes which is quite powerful and has seen a bit of play lately. So, you know, it's one of those bans that is favored by the Chinese teams, the Asian teams. And we're gonna see Nature Prophet slipping through the banning phase, and that is why he's gonna get picked. Nature Prophet is one of those top pick ban material because he's so versatile. He can just be middle lane, he can be top lane, he can be long lane, side lane, he can be in the jungle. And he can teleport in, he can pseudo carry, he can support, he can push, he can do anything. And even in late game, he's scaling very well because with his global teleports, he can just put pressure on any lane. So right now, the Nature Prophet pick not giving a lot into the strategy of Orange. And on the other side, we see Duskbin going for Queen of Pain and Windrunner. Now Windrunner is one of also this very versatile hero that we always see. And Queen of Pain on the other hand, it's a pick that shows that they have strong ganking power, high mobility. Both Windrunner and Queen of Pain are very mobile heroes and have a lot of AoE nukes. So it's this kill fast and run away fast mentality. But here already we see a pattern for the Duskbin, because while the Nature Prophet can be long lane, can be mid lane, or can be jungle, Windrunner and Queen of Pain are almost always solo laning. So that means that they already have their two solo lanes. Windrunner or Queen of Pain is going to be middle, and then the other one is going to be on the suicide lane. Let's see if that's the case. So when we see this, we already know that two of the dire lanes are what they are going to be like. And Orange is going to answer with some other heroes that we're going to see very shortly coming up. So they're taking their time, thinking about what could be good, or just wasting time. It could be also a decision, rational decision. You can speed this up a bit. And they're gonna go for the Chen plus the Shadow Shaman. What does that tell us? We see the Earthshaker immediately pick after. So let's stop for a moment and consider the picks. Chen, Shadow Shaman. Nature Prophet, Chen, Shadow Shaman. It's screaming early push. Shadow Shaman, with his, as soon as he hits level 6, has this very powerful ultimate, planting down wards that deal a ton of damage. They might not be very tanky, but they deal enormous amount of damage. So if you put this onto a tower, the tower will fall if the wards have support from creeps. Now the support from creeps are going to come from the Chen, who can control creeps in the jungle, and also from the Nature Prophet, who can just teleport wherever he wants to initiate a push and use his trends, because his trends do not do a lot of damage, but they soak up enormous amount of damage, so they are very tanky. So Nature Prophet gonna send those trends to tank the tower, and meanwhile the Chen creeps plus the Shadow Shaman wards are gonna take down the tower. A very heavy pushing lineup. And also we can already see the pattern in the orange side for the lanes. We have Chen, who cannot lane at all. So Chen will be jungle. The question will be, will he be in the dire jungle or in the radiant jungle? But we know that he's going to be jungle. Shadow Shaman, as here, if they want to get the strong pushing power from the Shadow Shaman, he'll have to get level 6 very quickly. And what's the best way to get level 6 quickly on a hero? It's to put him solo mid lane. So we're probably going to see a Shadow Shaman going solo mid lane. That means that the Nature Prophet is probably not going to jungle, because there's already a Chen, and we rarely see dual jungle, except if there are very strong, solo heroes for all 3 lanes, but this is very rarely the case. So Nature Prophet probably going to go for the Suicide lane. So orange, we already know Suicide lane, Nature Prophet, Shadow Shaman mid lane, and Nature Prophet jungle. Very strong early game pushing lineup, and mid game as well pushing lineup. And they still have very strong, they still can transition into late game, because Nature Prophet is actually quite good in late game. Now, on the other side, in Duskbin, we see an Earthshaker pick immediately after we see Shadow Shaman and Chen. That is because he sees the early pushing power and says, okay, I'm going to try to counter this, I'm going to pick Earthshaker. Why do I pick Earthshaker? Earthshaker is one of those heroes whose ultimate deals more damage if there are more units around. So he sees that Nature Prophet has, summons the trends. Chen is very likely to walk around with 3 creeps as well, and they want to have this Shadow Shaman. The Shadow Shaman ward is gonna cool down the entire enemy creep wave, so they're gonna have their own creep wave with them when they push the tower. So Earthshaker, the idea behind Earthshaker is deny them this, be a threat in this team fight. You want to have a lot of pushing power with creeps? Fine, I'm going to pick an Earthshaker and going to deal a ton of damage if ever you get out of position and you try to push down my tower. So then we're going to see the second banning phase going in.
Radiant team ban.
So why do we have ban, pick, and not just a huge 5 bans and then 5 picks? This is because, as we can see here, as I explained, we already have a lot of idea about how they're gonna lane, what strategy is gonna be here for them. And by seeing those 3 heroes, by seeing this partial strategy, we can actually think that, okay, if they go for this, I have to ban this and this hero to avoid being, really shut down by an entire push lineup. So I might want to ban this and this hero who are very strong at pushing as well, so I do not get 5 enemy heroes with all summons running down through my barracks at 5 minutes into the game. So, ban from the orange team, Ancient Apparition. Why this ban in particular? Ancient Apparition is a good counter to Chen and all healing, because his ultimate, one is its global range, so he can help to defend a tower while not teleporting. So that means they have a harder time pushing in, because he'll just throw his ultimate from wherever he is to the tower to defend it, and it's also gonna deny healing power for I think 8 or 10 seconds. I forgot how long the debuff is. So Ancient Apparition ultimate is actually denies any type of healing for as long as the debuff lasts on the hero. That means Chen ultimate not going to be as powerful, and if they're going to push early, the chances are that they are going to rush for a mechanism to add up to this pushing power. to give the creeps extra armor and this extra healing burst. So they do not want to have this ancient apparition against them, they do not want to risk it, and they're gonna ban it. It's more of a target ban than of a strategy ban. And now we're gonna see Duskbin. They're also going to ban someone. It's gonna be the Tide. So Tide does not bring this much to the pushing power. Why do we ban the Tide? Tide is a very disruptive hero. He deals, his ultimate have a huge range, so he does not have to be like Earthshaker in the middle of the fight. He can still be in the side of the fight and land a good ultimate. And he disrupts the fight. So that's 1.5 seconds of stun, for example, while all the creeps can still push down the tower and finish the tower. Second is, the Tide ultimates deal a lot of damage. And if you see Queen of Pain, Windrunner, and Earthshaker, they are all three very low health pool heroes. And if they get caught up, Windrunner and Queen of Pain, as I said, are very mobility reliant heroes. You do not want to get stunned when you are playing these heroes. You do not want to get stunned or snared or whatever. Their survivability depends on their mobility. If you get stunned, it's over. And not only stunning, but you know, Tidehunter is almost like a guaranteed stun. Wherever you are in the team fight, the AoE is so huge that even if you rely on mobility and you're blinking in and out, you have a high chance to get stunned by the Tide ultimate. Plus, as I said, Tide ultimate deals a lot of damage. So they do not want this. They do not want to let the enemy secure a heavy pushing lineup, plus having this option to have a very strong team fight lineup. So they're gonna ban the Tidehunter. Plus, the Tidehunter, although he cannot push down tower very fast, his Anchor Smash can kill creeps very quickly as well. So he can push down lanes also quite fast on his own, with the support of his creeps, of course. And overall, Tide is also a very good hero with his Gush that reduce armor and ultimate plus the Anchor Smash damage. And then we're gonna see here a ban that is the Venomancer. This is a targeted ban against the entire strategy here. Venomancer is a very annoying hero that can put down wards, and if you spam wards on his tower, the wards are immune to magic, so that means that you cannot just throw 2 AoEs and kill all the wards. You have to kill them with physical damage. And what does the Radiant side lack of? Auto attack right now. They do not have strong auto attack. That means if Venomancer is picked and he levels up the ward, and whenever there's a push, he just teleports to the tower and spams his ward, it's gonna delay the push. And this is what they do not want. They want to capitalize on the fact that they have a very strong early game pushing lineup. Because when Earthshaker gets a level, when Queen of Pain gets a level, they're gonna deal a ton of AoE burst damage, and they can just take down the Radiant side instantly if there's a very good opportunity. On the Duskbin side, we see a ban of Lone Druid. Lone Druid with his bear is a very strong pusher. Plus, he has the advantage to be able to carry late game. A late game Lone Druid that has farm is very frightening. So they're saying, okay, you wanna play this? You wanna push? We're not gonna give you the ultimate push carry hero. So if you want a carry hero, you have to choose someone else, and not be able to push with this hero as well. So Orange here sees that the Lone Druid is banned, and they have two options. Either they go full in and not go for a very late game hero and say, we wanna win this game as soon as possible. We're not gonna go for a carry. We're relying on the fact that we'll be able to get so much of an advantage that the enemy won't be able to come back. And what they're going to do here, let's speed up a bit. What they're going to do here is, actually you see that they're thinking quite long. So they might be thinking about this, what strategy they're going to adapt. And we see the Anti-Mage picked. So Anti-Mage, not one of those heroes very strong in the pushing lineup. Why do we pick Anti-Mage? We want to secure the late game. We want to be very careful about not losing the game because we did not get this early advantage with the only pushing lineup, and then getting just raped on the way back because we didn't finish the game by 30 minutes. So Anti-Mage here, we saw that Anti-Mage can be played in relatively you know, relatively few manners, manners and threads. So we can play anti-mage in a few ways. We have the farming anti-mage that goes for this very fast, you know, battle fury, and farm into the mental style, and farm into other items, and basically farm, come into late game and just rack cash in and kill everyone. Now we also saw some anti-mage that go for early game aggression. Those anti-mage will get like some very you know, team fight oriented item like a Vanguard to stay in the fights, and for example Vladimir Offering to both boost your ally summons, your ally creatures, and also to be able to life leech and everything with the anti-mage. So we're gonna see if this is the case. And on the other side, for Duskbin, we're gonna see a Shadow Demon picked instantly after the anti-mage. So Shadow Demon, hard counter to anti-mage. He has this disruption which creates 2 illusion of anti-mage, and these 2 illusion of anti-mage will drain his mana by attacking the anti-mage. Also, anti-mage is one of those heroes usually who is very squishy but have high damage. So whenever you create illusion of the anti-mage, the illusion will deal a lot of damage. So Shadow Demon, very often considered as a good counter to anti-mage, and he's gonna get picked instantly. So as far as we saw that Orange was actually the one leading the picks, and Duskbin somewhat being responsive to the picks. So when you have a very good drafting captain, you can play with this. You can lead the enemy to pick some heroes you want them to pick. It's this part of the main game that is very exciting when you see the drafting phase, because you might see that this is a bait. That was a trap. This was a bait, and how do we know what was really a bait or what was really a conscious decision? You know, sometimes the enemy side might be taking the bait, but they saying, "I know it's a bait. I'm still gonna risk it." So at last, we're gonna see Crystal Maiden, who's not adding a lot to the pushing power, but this Crystal Maiden will be able to support the anti-mage, and Crystal Maiden is also very strong early game. She has a very long range slow that lasts a long time, and she has this disable. Combined with a Chen, that means that if we see here the lanes, we know that it's gonna be so Suicide Lane Furion, jungle Chen, and we'll have a middle lane Resta with Anti-Mage and Crystal Maiden bottom lane, probably with the Chen going in the bottom jungle as well. That means that Anti-Mage is going to farm very easily, safely. Meanwhile, the Chen and the Enchantress are going to deny the enemy the experience. They won't be able to approach because Crystal Maiden can just slow and snare, and then Chen comes from behind with Centaur, for example, and stun. On the other side, Duskbin decided to go for Tiny at the end. Now, this makes the laning a bit strange. You have 3 heroes that basically wants to solo. Tiny wants to solo levels to get this very powerful combo as soon as possible. This is because if you see the Radiance lineup, they only have squishy heroes. Early game, Anti-Mage is not that resistant anyway, and Tiny can just pick off anyone here. If he gets a fast blink dagger in Arcane Boots, he can just blink in, pick one off, and it's gonna be what he's gonna try to do. Duskbin here. So we're gonna see very quickly, some minutes into the game, to see how the laning phase go, and see if I was right. So I already casted the game, so it's a bit cheating, of course. Sorry about this, but still we're gonna see. So we end up as Shadow Shaman in the mid lane against Queen of Pain. So those one I pretty much guessed. Nature Prophet on the long lane. So this is 2. Chen in the jungle, and Crystal Maiden and Anti-Mage on the bottom lane. So as far as this goes, it was correct. However, since I said that we have basically 3 heroes that that needs the solo experience, we have to sacrifice one of those 3 heroes, or sacrifice the 2 heroes. And here we're going to see that it's going to be Earthshaker laning with Windrunner. So Windrunner going to a dual lane, not very common, but not bad either. She can play dual lane just fine. She is not as level reliant as the Tiny, for example, because She does not have, you know, huge bursting potential. There's not like a cap, like you know, Bane at level 6 or 7. He comes in, he can you know, use ultimate on you, and then he follows with a brain sap, and almost any hero will die because of this. So this is like a power cap. Once you reach level 6, danger moment, danger zone. The Windrunner, nothing like this. Her ultimate is not like that powerful. You usually do not even pick her ultimate at level 6. She's just scaling very well with the levels, but it's not crucial. You'll still have a little stun, you'll still have this power shot, you'll still have this windrun, and it's okay. Queen of Pain, she needs the level, she needs the levels to get this you know, damage potential with the nuke, Shadow Strike, Scream of Pain, and ultimate. And same with the Tiny. Tiny will need the levels. Tiny will need to get this stun and avalanche, the avalanche and toss combo. So who's going to be sacrificed here? The Shadow Demon is going to play a main role of support. He's going to probably pull, and gank all the time. So he's going to get under leveled, but it's okay for support. And Earthshaker here is going to play support as well. So this is it for the drafting phase. And we're going to see, if we look a bit later in the game, what's going to happen is we're 6 minutes into the game, 1 tower is already down for Duskbin. Now we're going to see 10 minutes into the game, 1, 2, 3, 4 towers down for Duskbin. So we see here that it's quite predictable what's happening here. Duskbin has 8 kills and Orange only 3. This is because Duskbin has very strong nuking potential, burst potential. They almost all have nukes, except for the Shadow Demon. The Queen of Pain has a strong burst from the Scream of Pain and the Sonic Wave. Tiny with the double avalanche and toss combo. Windrunner can throw a power shot on it, and even Earthshaker can contribute with the Fissure. So it's very easy to bring down enemy heroes. If they catch one, the hero dies. On the other hand, Orange have a very strong pushing lineup, and we see that they already took 4 towers, and it's what they need to do. But they have this late game potential. They have this late game potential in the anti-mage and in the Prophet, something that the Dire side don't really have. They have this Queen of Pain who can semi-carry, and also the Tiny who can go for this Aghanim Scepter Mask of Madness build, but it's probably not going to be the case. And let's see, 15 minutes in now. 15 minutes in, all the towers are down for the Duskbin side. And it's 4 for 11. So again, the nuke power potential is coming in, but the tower is also falling. The Dire side only took 1 tower, bottom line. And if we see the experience graph, it's going the way of the Dire. Why is this? The Dire actually get the kill, get the gank. So they're actually killing and getting experience from the kills. Also, the Radiant side is pushing, and usually when you push, that means that a lot of heroes are standing in the same lane. That is one lane that is sacrificed, and that means that the creeps that die on this lane won't give experience to any of your team heroes. So that means that the experience-wise, when you're pushing, it's probably going to go for the other team's side favor. However, the gold graph is showing the opposite, and this is because pushing tower early on gives you a huge gold lead. And let's continue here. We're gonna see 20 minutes in, 5 to 14, so still keeping the lead for the Duskbin side, kill wise. And there we go. Here, 25 minutes in, they're taking down the tower, the racks, and that's what they want to do. Basically, they capitalize on the early level, the early power of the Chen, with the mechanism, with the arcane boots, and with the ultimates, plus his creeps. And Nature Prophet also going for a push build, getting the Necronomicon. Crystal Maiden getting the support items. She actually get a lot of items. It's normal when you consider that they pushed a lot of towers in. And Shadow Shaman also going for the Aghanim Scepter for even more powerful wards. And as we see, Anti-Mage going not for this heavy farming build with the Battle Fury, but going by Vanguard and Mental Slot. So, you see from the draft, we can really know a lot of things. I hope it actually helped you to understand the draft better, and I'm looking forward to make some more episodes of this series. And if you like it, please do not hesitate to give a little comment. And if you think that you would rather see me spending my time on other things like casting games or doing guide other guides, or continue the learn from your mistakes series, do not hesitate to say so. Thank you for watching, guys. See you guys next time.